Bridgerton, Netflix's steamy new romance series, is about London's well-to-do families coming of age and looking for love and marriage.
Yeah, the show centers on Daphne, the oldest daughter among 8 siblings who's trying to marry, and her plot with the Duke. And did we mention it is steamy?
Ooh, one woman had a lot to do with that. Her name is Lizzy Talbot, an intimacy coordinator, and we are excited to welcome her on the show. Hi, Lizzy.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
This is exciting for us. We both binge watched the show, and we had never heard of an intimacy coordinator. So what exactly is your role in this?
Yeah, so my role is really as an advocate, a coordinator, and a choreographer. And that's really sort of how this all ties into the role.
So tell us what it was like working on the series, because it is evident on you watch the series, the chemistry, the on-screen chemistry between Daphne and the Duke, it is very much there. Does that make your role even easier? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so we were really fortunate with Shondaland in that they gave us a lot of rehearsal time. So it was a really easy process to be able to kind of build that chemistry up, because they were spending a lot of time together. There were dance rehearsals, there was like horse riding that they were doing. There was just sort of general rehearsals. So it was quite easy to start to build that connection when we started doing our intimacy rehearsals.
And Lizzy, some actors have said that love scenes on a movie set, they may not be as fun as they look. In fact, they could be kind of awkward to do all of that in front of everyone on the set. So do you help in that too?
Yeah, for sure. So one of the things that we help implement is the closed set procedures to make sure that only people who absolutely desperately need to be there are involved in the actual shoot day, so that you're not doing it in front of lots and lots and lots of other people. We try and sort of get that down to bare bones, so that again, there's a lot more privacy involved here.
Makes it more comfortable for the actors, certainly.
Yeah.
So let's get down to the nitty-gritty. So do you, I know the director is telling the actors what to do, but do you tell the actors how to position themselves during an intimate scene, or what sort of advice do you give them?
Yeah, so our role at heart, we're really choreographers. And so just in the same way that a dance choreographer would choreograph the balls or a stunt coordinator would choreograph the fights, we choreograph the intimacy. So we are there helping them with positioning and sort of breath work, as well as, all sorts of ability to maneuver physically together.
All right, so, all of us, in our job, we realize this is what we want to do. When did you realize that this is what you wanted to do? How did you even pick this, pinpoint this as what you wanted to do as your profession?
It was certainly not in the careers fair at school, I can tell you that now.
Yes.
that was not an option. And it certainly wasn't something that when I was small, I wanted to grow up and do. I transitioned into this through fight coordination, really, because I noticed that there were so many protocols and procedures and safety techniques involved in fight work. But when we were sort of combining that with any intimate work, so for example, a scene of domestic violence, there were just no rules when it came to intimacy, and cast were having to rely on the good graces of their scene partner, and that's just not really enough.
I love that you compare it to choreography, because I think that really helps people understand it. And what I'm wondering, is there any practical advice that you could pass along to us in our own relationships? Even just something like a caress sometimes can really make feelings stir, right?
Yeah, for sure. And intimacy isn't always, intensely physical. It's about sort of the emotional intimacy as well. So I think if I can pass on anything, it would certainly be communication.
Yeah, we're getting giggles from the studio in here. We're all 11-year-olds. What did you ask?
It was the same on set too. We had a lot of fun, and there was a lot of laughing.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the intimate scenes are very intimate. So I think that having you on set probably helped a good bit.
Yeah, and there was a certain cheekiness around it from the Shondaland perspective, because one of the very first scenes that we did was with Reggae and Phoebe, and we were in the Reform Club in London, and we were doing part of the honeymoon section for Daphne and Simon. And the Reform Club has been a gentleman's club for a really long time, and they only started allowing women in the 1980s. And so it felt really fun to be doing the scene that we did, without too many spoilers, in the gentleman's club.
Well, I can certainly see how you would put the actors at ease. Like they would feel less nervous about these scenes because you're giving them advice and telling them exactly how to do it.
And an advocate too.
Yeah.
This is great stuff. Thank you. It is all everyone is talking about. And congratulations, because the show has been such a success.
Yeah, thank you. It was such a pleasure to be involved.
All right, well, great talking to you, Lizzy. Lizzy Talbot, Intimacy Coordinator, we thank you very much for joining us.